Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers, and welcome to yet another show of Up to Date on KSA2 on behalf of my colleague Faisal Saif, who is spending his holiday at this time. I would like to introduce myself, Al-Azhari. Al-Azhari, I'm going to be hosting your show for tonight, and hopefully we will be bringing you different aspects about some matters that is kind of very important to everyone nowadays, which is smartphones. And joining me on this evening's show is engineer Khaldoon Mansour, a security engineer who is going to give us an insight on our privacy and security on using smartphones, and that we have been developed the habit of using it in all our daily aspects. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm so happy to be here tonight. Thank you for having me.
So if we talk about smartphones, what exactly is a smartphone, and what identifies it as a smartphone?
Well, actually, a smartphone is a mobile phone that is built on mobile operating system, and it has more computing capability and connectivity than a feature phone. Mm-hmm. As many people nowadays are using their smartphones as a computer. So they are surfing internet, downloading app, accessing the corporate email. So it's not actually a phone anymore. It's a computer in the pocket.
So how actually since you mentioned that it's a computer in the pocket, and we actually do use it in many matters of life, of our daily
that's right,
daily aspects of life. And so if we talk about the security of those smartphones, and basically how do we actually apply security on smartphones?
Yeah, well, actually this topic, or mobile phone security, has become increasingly important since the more devices now are on the network. Mm-hmm. And actually more users and more businesses use smartphones as communication tool, but as also a mean of organizing and planning their own work and private life. So according to ABI researches, the mobile security services market will total around $1.88 billion by the end of 2013.
I mean, that's a huge...
yeah, that's an enormous, yeah.
So if we talk about... now there's many manufacturers in the market, a lot of competition. We see something new almost on everyday basis, and now on the fourth generation networks, you think that more like if we can say would it increase the risk or make it more effective to
Yes,
people?
Of course, absolutely. As we said, as more devices are on the network, there is an incentive planning from the attackers to attack the devices. Now, let's imagine the world with nobody downloading app or browsing the internet. Mm. How would an attacker be in your phone? But now that everyone is downloading app and accessing the web, phishing websites, and all the vulnerabilities available there, there is a greater way for the bad guys can get in.
Indeed. So if we you're saying the word attacker.
Yeah.
So if we identify attackers, well, who would they be? More companies that are interested in knowing our buying habits, perhaps.
Yeah, that's right. Well, attackers, there are four prime categories of attackers. They are professionals, or they are thieves, or they are what they called black hat hackers or gray hat hackers. Mm. Now, let's identify each one apart. Now, those professionals, actually, they are more focused on taking the information from military or from commercial sites, and taking or stealing the data of industrial secrets, taking your data. And actually, what thieves are, those people are trying to make, to generate an income from every user they steal the information from, whether they're attacking their availability, or they're attacking their identity, or attacking their data. And there are always more people to be attacked to generate their potential income. Now, what we mean by black hat hackers, those people who develop the viruses, and they care about making that type of damage and data theft on your smartphone. But the gray one, they care about exploiting that type of vulnerabilities, or publishing those vulnerable softwares in the market, so, but they don't actually attend or tend to damage the data or steal the information.
But if we talk about how the mean that attackers actually breach our privacy or security, and how can they identify this device has a vulnerability or not?
Yeah, actually, there are plenty of ways. Always, the smartphone user is always exploit to a variety of threats. Now, if we get back to the statistics, in the last 2 quarters of 2013, the number of unique mobile threats grew by 261%. Just in the last two quarters of 2013. So they can come from means of communication like SMS, MMS, or Wi-Fi networks, and also they can come from GSM. And also there are plenty of ways, software, it could be a phishing website, it could be a direct access through plugging in your device into a computer and stealing the information.
So, but we have now the devices that are like smartphones that we have almost all our life, all our personal details,
That's right.
our family pictures, our loved ones, information about us that we think is safe within our phone. So how do we actually protect all those private information and make sure that we are not vulnerable to someone who has access to this information?
Yes, of course. Actually, there are plenty of tips that a smart or an average smartphone user should be aware of. First of all, I mean, it's the basics. It's the most basic tip for any smartphone user to use a passcode to access his mobile phone. And actually, that passcode, I mean, a lot of people out there using that kind of finger trails, but you know, greasy finger trails can reveal too much sometimes. So a passcode, which is not also a 4-pin. 4-pin is an improvement, but I mean, more than 4-pin is the ideal phone protection. And actually, we also we always recommend that you keep your OS, your mobile OS operating system up to date, because these guys wouldn't, you know, reveal or release that type of install or that type of update unless there is a necessity or a security bug available in the previous version. So also we always recommend to the user that right before you automatically install the new OS to be aware of the things that happened before in the previous operating system. We also always recommend that do not keep your Wi-Fi search engine available there, because you are giving, these waves are giving the identity, giving the identity and also the location of the smartphone holder. So we recommend to either install a Wi-Fi aware places application that automatically turns on the Wi-Fi, or to keep it off unless you have a trusted Wi-Fi available there. Also, with the NFC or near field communication or Bluetooth, we also recommend. I mean, it's a great communication feature available now in the new smartphones, but we recommend to keep it, shut it down. Also, keep your device automatically locked. I mean, a lot of devices there allow you to go and set up, for example, a period for your device to be locked. I mean, also 10 to 15 minutes is always better than 2 to 3 minutes, even if it does feel inconvenient sometimes.
Well, I believe we can actually move on towards our first report of this evening, and hopefully we will talk more about this when we come back, dear viewers, and hopefully you will enjoy this brief report. Thank you very much. Welcome back, dear viewers, and as we have seen during the report about the electronic commerce and means of inviting young people to interact more with the internet and perhaps be able to purchase and use the internet to its full extent, and by using different applications and different websites to its fullest. Which brings me to a very important topic, is the security and of our money on the internet. How do we actually keep our money safe on the internet? There's a lot of now stores and places that you can buy different aspects.
That's right.
A lot of people try to look for like alternatives and cracks, and by doing that, they actually give means to attackers, as we were talking earlier.
Yeah, that's right.
To reach their personal security. So perhaps maybe you can give us some insight about this.
Of course. Now, first of all, as we said before, that you have to keep your mobile operating system secured by following the basics and some advanced tips on how to make your device secured. But actually, also a lot of applications there that could use your stored information in a bad way. So we usually recommend that before you install an app, that app that should take you to a payment method, you should read at least the review of that application, because if there's any security concern, someone else then would have mentioned them in the reviews of the application. And actually, markets like Google Play or Apple App Store or BlackBerry AppWord, these guys are really concerned, seriously concerned about security. They wouldn't let any application out there if there is any security concern. But we keep recommending, if you read the review of the application before installing it.
But we see in a lot of applications, for example, that it asks us for permission to access our information or access our photo albums or our contact lists. By doing that, should people be doing that, or should they avoid doing that? But some applications won't be functional without granting them those permissions.
Yeah, actually, this should be the user should be wary of the applications he uses. For example, if I have an application to make phone calls, it's a normal thing to have a permission to the network access or access to the network. But if there is, for example, a calculator application that is accessing the global positioning system or GPS, that should be treated with an extreme caution.
Also, which a very important topic, I think a lot of the parents out there are very concerned about their loved ones and their children, especially that a lot of children now are using iPads and or like smartphones and tablets as well in their houses or in their schools. So how do we actually keep our children safe on the internet? Like how do we make sure that they don't give attackers a chance to come near them, or like learn more about them or their whereabouts?
Well, actually, out there in the market, there are plenty of security software that gives the ability to manage the permissions of the applications that will prevent installing the application from unknown source. And also, it will give you another feature, which is the family protection, or what is called family protection, to keep the children safe from surfing the internet or giving them the permission. There are also what is called blacklist application and whitelist application. They both could be very helpful in such a situation.
You mean for surfing the internet?
Yes, of course.
What I'm like trying to get more light on is how do we actually make sure that our children don't have like a gap or a breach within their devices for people to come towards them, and like, for example, some of the pictures, when we take a picture, it has a signature of the location, so people can identify where they're at. So how can we protect the children from that?
Yeah, as I told you, these type of family protection software would give you the permission to give the child a permission to go that way, or to install or uninstall something. It will give it also the ability of monitoring all activities in that iPad. But still, these type of applications are unlike regular computing space, like PCs. They have also their limited features and capabilities. So if you receive, for example, an SMS or a text message, or it could be, for example, an email, a lot of emails include that kind, what is called dodgy links. So whenever you click on them, you are actually at risk. So what keeps you away from this is the answer, which is the security software that you install.
So like a preventive medicine, so you put like a firewall to protect you against all those.
Of course.
But how there's also things that within like the system itself, like things that we use on our daily basis without knowing, like sharing information, allowing others to open channels with us, and so how do we actually know that this is good for us or not? Only by reading, or there's another like software as well to
the family protection software that does the whole job. It will give you also a word.
For the families.
No, this type of application, what they call family protection, it's actually it targets the children class of smartphone holders or users. So it will give them limited ability with a word filtration to the web or during the chat. And also, I believe that learning is something good. Learning and teaching the child to do this and to do that and not to do that is also somehow helpful. But there is no perfect word in a smartphone. So it's always could be a good tool, or sometimes could be a dangerous tool.
Well, of course, it's an amazing tool that have entered our life and have provided us with many solutions, and provided us with facilities that people used to go a distance to get. Now everything is almost in the palm of our hands with a touch of a screen. So, but with all this overwhelming of technology and development and competitions between software and hardware companies, how can we actually know that this is the proper operating system, that it's more convenient to what I want, or my privacy or security?
Yeah, well, actually, there are plenty of reviews and statistics all over the internet. For now, we cannot say that this operating system or this mobile phone is better than the other in security side, but there are also functions that every mobile phone, for example, now if you're talking about email client, now BlackBerry is one of the most powerful platform for this business type. So what I'm talking about is that we have to concern, and we have to focus on our targets. Based on that target, we need to select which operating system might fulfill our needs.
By mentioning those different applications and different chats and messengers and IMs, as some of the young youth are using it extensively, and sharing sites and links and videos, and randomly downloading stuff that they don't know if it's actually safe or not. How can we actually control all those very rich environment of data that's
Yes, of course. Actually, there is always, in every application we use, IM applications or messengers, there's always the ability to report something. But it's always an open space. You cannot prevent it, actually, because whenever you have that kind of phishing, you can sometimes give some protection, like 60 or 70%. But as long as the technologies go on, there are many bad guys also go on with the technology and improving their viruses and ways on how to get in your smartphone. So it's still a scary thing, but using the security software also and the family protection, it could also block these incoming items, and it could also do a good word filtration for the whole thing, for the website, for the emails. It could make you, for example, a malware box that will keep everything, every dodgy link or every crooks, inside that box.
Right. So Actually, which brings me to another subject. A lot of the female audience or users of smartphones
Yeah.
are like they share personal pictures of themselves or things they buy or private information about themselves. And we hear a lot about encrypted communication and that
Yeah.
this is secured messenger or chat. I was like, what is the truth behind this? There's actually something called secured communication over the internet or on smartphones?
Well, yeah, not from the end user point of view. It's from the vendor of that application point of view. Sometimes they use what is called SSL certificates, and it might be very sophisticated, 64-bit or 128 bits. It could be sophisticated, but I mean, what we also recommend that if you have any sensitive information on your smartphone, you gotta be aware of how to protect it, or you gotta remove them from there and keep them in a safer place. Because now, for example, Android operating systems are open source operating system. So good people are improving it and bad people are destroying it at the same time. So there is always a way. If you don't keep the tips and if you don't keep the encrypted information inside your phone, do not keep your information just like this. Encrypt them, and many operating system platforms now provide this feature.
Very similar to the black hat hackers that you were talking about.
Yeah.
They develop viruses and things that can affect them.
That's for sure.
But is there any other influence on this? Like I mentioned it earlier at the beginning of the show about marketing companies or companies who are like seeking to find information about a certain clientele habits or different. What is this category of people are doing, or what
attackers.
Do they prefer? Not attackers. They are actually people who are like. How we see a lot of dedication of like emails that is of things that you have recently searched on Google or like on other search engines. Is this considered a breach to our privacy for people?
Yes, of course. Actually, any use of your privacy without your permission is a privacy violation. And but you know, a lot of people and a lot of us, unfortunately, whenever they install an application, they don't read the terms and conditions. But mostly 90%, as ABI New York research revealed last year, 90% of the most available applications nowadays, they use your statistics. But some of them, they use it for good, and some of them use it for bad. But both ways, it's a privacy violation because it happens without your permission.
So by your permission, like you sign the contract by agreeing to their terms and conditions. So
it's becoming illegal.
It's becoming legal for them to actually breach your privacy.
Yes, of course, but legal. But you know that type of legal that you didn't know. I mean, a lot of people, they have a culture that okay, next, and they click all the buttons just to get that application installed on that smartphone, and that is the problem. You are giving them the ability to take your statistics and use it in any ways. And actually, a lot of organizations are following up with these security breaches. But as long as we have this plenty of application, various platforms, it's becoming impossible to track all of these companies.
Well, and also there's something else where a lot of people are trying to download pirated media off the internet, which is something that is it's really not good, not only for the industry, but also to our safety, because we don't know where this actual source or who's the person that have applied this file on the internet and what it contains. So by opening our devices, now there's a lot of devices that give you access to download stuff and watch it on your device right away. It's like, does that also give them a chance to manipulate our privacy or our personal information?
Yeah, actually, I agree with you, because most of the multimedia nowadays, there are a malware embedded inside of it, and it makes your device as what is called zombie machine. A zombie machine, that device that an attacker could communicate and send command, for example, to use your device as a spam as a spam launcher, or as it could sometimes also send SMS to paid services. So we got to be aware of these type of some people call it torrents, and some people call it free shares, and so on. So we should be aware from this, because they are already illegal. Nobody's watching them. Nobody's seeking their privacy and their permissions and their applications. So don't let them in your device that easily.
Well, we will continue talking about this very important topic, which is our smartphones and our privacy of our information, and right after we come back from this report. Hopefully you will enjoy, dear viewers. So, welcome back, dear viewers, and hopefully you have enjoyed this brief report that we have learned a lot about different social media that can affect our privacy, and how it can be a mean for different marketing schemes, or mass marketing to approach us, and with different products based on our personal criteria, invading our privacy. And we are still here with engineer Khaldoon, who is giving us a lot of wonderful information about how to preserve our security and safety. And perhaps we can, if we can ask about something I believe that is very important for our viewers, on how to be able to identify that this device is actually been breached, and there's an attacker actually using our information and data.
Well, yeah, there are plenty different symptoms for a device. A lot of people suffer from the slowness of their devices. It could be actually one of the major symptoms that a device is actually infected. And also there are spams. For example, somebody is calling you, a friend of you, for example, on Facebook, yes, and asking you to stop sending him spam emails, but actually you're not the one who's sending. Your device is acting as a zombie machine. And sometimes another symptom that the battery is exhausted. There are that type of embedding startup application that gives a startup application that keeps running on the smartphone processor, so requiring a lot of energy, and therefore making the battery dead. So these are the most symptoms. But in most cases, when a device is injected by a patch file or whatever it is, actually sometimes there are no symptoms, which makes it actually a big security threat.
So those, if we see those symptoms on our phone, or like that battery keeps draining, or there's pop-up messages that are not usual and repeating several times, what is if perhaps maybe you can give us the first steps that a person who's using a smartphone or any smart device to actually proceed with to get rid of all those breaches, or perhaps gaps that people are, holes that people can come through in?
Well, actually, the first thing is to back up your important stuff and reset your device to the factory setting. This will make it. Actually, a lot of people, we've heard a lot of people are making their own installs. They're making their own what is so-called ROM. Or jailbreaked, for example, iOS or rooted Android operating system. Keep away from all of these. Install a clean version, because those people seriously care about security. And keep your device up to date. Just reset your phone. Install the applications that you most use, and you have to read the rate and the reviews of that application before you get to install it.
I don't think that this is an issue with like the well-known brands and the big names in the market, but there's a lot of also cheaper or more accessible devices that made in various countries around the world, that people can have different operating systems that perhaps are not of a known source.
Yeah.
By using this, a lot of people, out of being naive or think that this is not going to affect me personally, how can we actually increase the awareness of people who are using smartphones? This new guest in our life that brings us a lot of support and a lot of different facilities and different solutions,
Yeah.
but yet can be a mean to affect us perhaps in a big way.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, it's not nowadays about the smartphone user. It's about the people around that smartphone user, because they may lose their data because of his activities. So we gotta actually be cautious. And I think that the internet world now, nowadays we are in 2014, and I think there are a small class of people who still don't know nothing about this, and it will be forever a risk at them using this average knowledge with smartphones.
Well, actually, we have a phone call coming to us right now from Engineer Walid Nahas. Assalamu alaikum, Engineer Walid. Assalamu alaikum.
Good afternoon, Engineer Khaldoon.
So we would like you've been watching the show, and we were discussing a very important topic. It's about the privacy of our smartphones and the best ways or habits that we should follow and protecting ourselves and loved ones using smartphones. So perhaps maybe you can give us some of your perspectives or insights on how to like fortify ourselves or like protect ourselves and our vulnerable information and personal data from being attacked by people who are trying to do good or bad just to protect our privacy.
First of all, I want to thank you and thank Engineer Khaldoon. And
thank you.
About regarding the mobile phone security or smartphone security, Mr. Khaldoon, I want to ask about the security of maybe there is a lot of operating systems for mobile devices, and I want to ask about how we can secure our devices more or make it more secure than is there applications or is there any secured applications for mobiles now?
So perhaps maybe Engineer Khaldoon, you can tell him what we were talking about different family software, but perhaps maybe you can let him know better.
Yeah, of course. Just as we spoke, you should keep your device locked and automatically locked. You should be aware of the application you installed and the source of these applications, whether they are trustworthy or not. Also, keep your device. Do not miss your operating system updates for your smartphone. Keep your device encrypted so nobody can take it and plug in it into his computer and get access to your information. And also do not click on any links that are coming from unknown sources. They might be a dodgy link, they might be a bombing links. And also at the end, just keep your information safe by using a security application. Read about the review of that application before getting to install it on your device.
Oh, you mean same as we use our computers or laptops? The malware or the hackers can enter our devices by that links.
Yes, of course. Actually, the mobile threats nowadays are just the same actors in non-mobile environment, the same as PCs, the same as servers, and the same as any computing device we nowadays use.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Walid Nahas, and hopefully that we were able to clarify some of your questions here, and I believe that it's becoming something very important for people nowadays to be able to determine which is safer for them, or which is especially that a lot of our money and a lot of our information and a lot of our emails and work information. Perhaps it's not something personally related, but it might can affect me at the job, or I lose a very important document or some information that might affect one corporate over the other. So we see more security and more applications to prevent hackers to within the corporate world. But a lot of the personal users who are indeed a higher statistic of the users of smartphones, especially the young ones, now that with all those trendy applications like people sharing their personal pictures and opening their lives and to others and logging and blogging their daily activities and where they're going. Would that be something that can be dangerous in some point?
Yes, of course. As more devices are on the network, as more people, there are more bad people are tracking them. And what we care about and what target this class of people are those thieves who make their potential income from those average knowledge users. So I think the best for them is to always keep the tips high, and it doesn't matter actually what operating system or device they are using. It's just about the way they use it.
Well, actually, we have control of what we use on the internet, and our privacy and our safety and our information safety is, I believe, a very important priority for all of us. And if we follow those simple tips and measures that might be something that would take a couple of seconds of your time just to download another application, or perhaps maybe a few dollars or a few reals to invest in like some sort of a security application or software to perhaps save us from losing.
Yeah, that's right.
More. So
actually, I also personally I join my voice to yours that I believe that every person, every smart user, smartphone user deserve the maximum level of security.
So if we talk about some of the different applications that is out there that can be a bit suspicious, how people can actually determine that okay, this is a well-known source or not. There's a lot of developers out there, as you mentioned. There's the good and bad. How are we able to actually identify them, especially that now it's an open market and everybody has the right to post and sell their applications online?
Of course. Now, as I mentioned, actually you have always to keep on checking the application's permissions. As we mentioned, that if there is a clock application and is taking action, taking a permission to access the network, this should be treated with an extreme cautious. But there are also reviews by a way or another. Those with either it's a Google Market or Apple App Store, they care about what they publish, and also you have to read the reviews of this. But there are very famous and well-known security applications that this will do the job for you. It will give you the rate of every application, and if there is anybody else reported it previously, and it will give you all the statistics that you need.
So that's perhaps it's a good idea to read reviews and ratings, but don't you agree that some actually companies apply those ratings and have like marketing?
Yeah, actually there is, as I remember, a Lookout application. There are plenty of security applications like McAfee and The Trend. They are famous companies, and they do give you the statistics just like You know, whenever you are trying to install an application, it will give you the caution whether it's a good application or bad application. It will give you what is called the blacklist application. It will save the job for you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Mansour,
Thank you.
for your wonderful information that you have provided for us and our viewers, who I'm sure have benefit a lot of this security tips and how to protect ourselves from hackers and attackers who can actually make our life miserable, and with very simple tips to avoid this. And thank you once again.
Thank
for
you
being
so
with
much.
us.
Thank you.
We have discussed a lot about smartphones and our privacy, a very important topic, I believe, for each and every one of us. So we use our devices. We recommend to use our devices responsibly and to try to read more about different applications, and not to use like applications or different software that might be pirated or can affect our devices itself. A lot of those smartphones are quite expensive, so use them in the proper way, and hopefully that we will see you again soon. And thank you very much for being with us, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.